Well, welcome to another how-to from the Elder Scrolls Online. This one is how to be certified for crafting writs when you're just starting out. So you've probably just finished going through the tutorial, or you've skipped the tutorial, but you've ended up on your starter island. In this case, we're at Clothiers Roost, and I've managed to bring my character all the way over to Mistral Way Shrine. So on your map, most of you'll start, well actually you probably will all start over here at Clothiers Roost Way Shrine, and you'll do a few different missions over here and come back in. So here we are at level 8, and we're now eligible to start to go and get certified for our crafting writs. You might even at this stage have learned how to deconstruct a few things, and you might have started putting some skill points into, wow, someone leveled. You might be putting some skill points into your crafts. So for instance, you can operate crafting centers and benches without being certified to craft anything. We'll just grab this primer. There we go. We'll just head on over here to the clothing station. If you haven't been in there, you can just, it'll give you different tips and things. But you might have started to deconstruct items that are filling up your backpack, and you'll notice as you deconstruct these items, wow, let's not have banked items, there we go. As you deconstruct these items, you'll gain some levels. You don't have to be certified to make crafting writs in order to increase your level at things. Ditto with your blacksmithing. When you first use it, you'll have that message come up. You can deconstruct a few things. Now, if you have ESO Plus, the things you get out of deconstructing they're all going to come. They're all going to go into your ESO Plus craft bag. If you don't have ESO Plus, make sure you've got room in your backpack for extra materials. Otherwise, you're going to be a sad kitty because it won't let you deconstruct things. So we're just going to deconstruct those. Boom. Don't forget to go from weapons to apparel, where you will find more deconstruction can occur. And you'll notice your blacksmithing is now at level 2. I think Clothiers Roost, I think we've got a woodworking bench over here. Again, basically into your deconstruction, just click through here. That will explain to you what your trainer is going to explain to you anyway. And basically, you no, she doesn't have another slot open, so she's fine. So there you go. That's given us a goodly amount of points. You'll notice you can research even without being trained. So let's destroy a bow, Sentinel's Lash, and we'll research that. There we go. So we can probably research a few other things. So you can kick off into the crafting line of things really early, and I've lost my crafting station. It's over here somewhere. Here we go. So let's go and see if we can research anything in here. So that'll tell you what you can and can't research. Looks like I've got some kind of hat here. It's going to be excuse me for a minute. Get rid of that. I know it's an item I don't want to actually deconstruct right now. So let's just get rid of that. We're going to research that trait and we'll lose that item. Let's go and see what we can research in our blacksmithing station. Just grab our research, click through the thing that tells us all about it. If it's your first time doing it, you should probably read that. We grab old rat splattered there, we'll research that. Researching something destroys it, but it does not remove it from your collections. So you'll be able to reconstruct it later. Alrighty. In order to get certified as a crafter, you will need to travel to your factions or any other factions. We're going to go up to Rimmen because this is where we are. You need to look for 2 people. You should waste shrines you find. Rimmen should be unlocked for you straight up. We need to look for 2 people. We need to look for Melanith and I know there's 2 of them and I can't remember their names. Melanith is one. So let's see if we can find Now Melanith usually hangs out at the Mages Guild, and if I remember rightly, the other guy hangs out at the Fighters Guild. So let's head on over that way. Where am I? And how am I going to get there? We're going to turn around and going to go back toward the bank. Right, I know where the bank is. Man, I should know where the bank is. I've been here often enough with my other characters. So yeah. So you're kind of taking your character out of the storyline. How close are we to the Fighters Guild? Right there. In order to show you how to get your crafting writ certified. Doo-doo-doo. Of course, it would help if I could. There he is.
Next time I'm in the field,
no, that's not
I think
him.
I'll bring a great warhammer.
Melanith.
Or two.
This is Melanith, and
You're
I'm
here
wrong.
for crafting certification? Don't worry, there's no cost involved. Your alliance covers all my fees. Once you're certified, they'll let you fulfill the crafting writs. Everyone wins.
What are crafting writs?
They're daily requests for crafted goods, but they're only available to certified crafters. If you can show me you know your craft, I'll get you certified.
Alrighty, tell me how this works.
I can train and certify blacksmiths, clothiers, and woodworkers. If that sounds like something you'd want, we can get started.
I want to know more about the crafts you certify.
Of course. What do you want to know?
What can a blacksmith make?
Anything with metal in it. And I don't mean horseshoes and calipers. The crafting writs are for weapons and heavy armor, so that's what I teach.
What does a woodworker make?
Bows, shields, and magical staves. Staffs? No, it's staves. I always forget how to say that.
And what do clothiers make?
Cloth and leather goods. The crafting writs want pieces of light cloth armor or medium leather armor, so that's what I certify.
Alright, I've got it.
Have you spoken with Danel Teleno?
That's the
He
other
handles
guy.
certification and training for provisioning, enchanting, and alchemy. He's a bit stuffy, but he knows what he's doing.
Alright, I'd prefer you certify me. I'll go speak to him later.
Excellent. We can get started whenever you're ready.
Alright.
Let me know if you have some time. I can train and certify you in something else.
Alrighty, well, let's go with blacksmith to start with.
Prove you know your way around a forge and I'll certify you. But you have to commit. I can only train one discipline at a time.
Fine, I want to be certified as a blacksmith.
I want you to craft a simple iron dagger. First you'll mine some iron ore, then refine the ore into iron ingots. You'll use those ingots to make the dagger.
You'll certify me if I make an iron dagger.
Yes. You have to prove you know your way around a blacksmithing station. Those are the rules. For now, bring me an armload of iron ore. Once you're back, you'll refine them into iron ingots.
Okay, tell me where to find the iron ore.
There's a place outside of town which should still have some iron ore veins. Head there and mine it for yourself. Bring me 10 solid chunks of iron ore. If those veins are played out, you'll need to find iron ore on your own.
Alright, I'll return with the iron ore. Alrighty. Well, I guess we can level up our poor kitty cat. Okay. I know, I forgot my own name again. Rendari Firetail. Okay, we are going to level up Rendari. Level 9 rewards. 1 attribute, 1 skill. What's she using? I forget. Let me check that too. Alright, she's using daggers. Back to character. Pretty sure the Prophet has a dagger in here somewhere she can claim. So we'll claim the dagger. We're going to increase her magicka because she happens to be Nightblade. And we're going to go with, just to commit those points. And alrighty, well seeing as we're focusing on our let's give her something in blacksmithing. We're going to make that ore glow. Okay. So I could at this point return straight away to Milaneth and actually I do need to go and get some iron ore. I only have 7. That's pretty good. Normally my other characters have taken care of it for me. Well, let's go. So search for iron ore. You'll be wanting to follow that little, see the little white mark up above. So it says search for iron ore below. And all of those spaces tell you what the iron ore is. We can kind of head in that direction. Let's head out of town. Run, Rendari, run. I've forgotten how to leave. Oh, right, I'm in the wrong direction. Let's go this way. Okay, there's your way shrine in the center. Someone's having a party over there. So we'll take Rendari out of town. We'll look for our markers again to make our life a little easier. There's some iron ore below. We'll go chasing that arrow. Unless something presents itself. Now be careful out here because it's not the friendly little space that the city is. You're likely to earn some XP on the way if you run into something you don't like, or that doesn't like you, which is probably going to be more the case. So we'll zip on down here, find the iron ore. For this mission your iron ore spaces are marked, so you can generally come across it easily. There's 4 there. I know, we now have 10, but if you were to need to, I'll just run up here, see if there's anything easier to get to that doesn't involve fighting beasts and monsters. We'll let Rendari have an easy run. Man, the things you find unsupervised in the desert. Now, your iron ore may not glow. So just be aware you've got to look for that shape. If you haven't spent the skill point I just spent. Alrighty, we've searched for iron ore. You know, it looks like there's some hiding out in the city itself. I wonder how we missed that. Let's go find it. Oh no, I didn't want to get my boots any wetter than they already were. Let's go. Okay, we are not going to find iron ore in the truck. Where do I find my Milleneth? Right, let's go find Milleneth. You probably won't make any friends with the guards if you run into them the way that...
Why can't the dead ever stay dead around here?
Why can't the dead ever stay dead around here? Ah, yeah, there are problems in town. Up to Milleneth. So we'll return with our iron ore.
You're back. I take it you found enough ore?
This should be enough.
Refining ore into ingots is a good way to build your muscles. Well, in one arm. Best to switch every now and then. Otherwise, you'll be lopsided.
I have iron ingots. What needs to be done now? Oh, yes. I do have iron ingots.
Go to the blacksmithing station and craft an iron dagger. Nothing fancy. You shouldn't need more than 2 iron ingots. Oh, and you'll need a style material. You can purchase them from any blacksmith, or scavenge them yourself if you're thrifty.
What is a style material?
Every race has a traditional material they work into their weapons and armor. For example, the Imperial style material is nickel. I should know. Every day in the Legion camps, I worked a pile of it.
And what style material do I need?
The Khajiit style material is moonstone. Why not start with that?
And how do I learn other racial styles?
You can learn how to craft with another race's style material by studying racial motif books. They're quite rare, mostly held by collectors, so watch for them in your travels.
Alright. Right, so because I already had iron ore, it didn't actually let me ask how to go and make it, but that does save us a trip. Let's head on out into Rimmen and we'll learn...
Come witness the miracle at Sunspire.
Craft an iron dagger. Well, let's go. We need to go down the stairs. I mean, we could just jump off the waterfall, but that's not. So your learning phase, regardless of which faction you're with, is going to involve a lot of running around. Alrighty. So, if you're short of style material, you can go to Cornelius.
Trust me on this, traveler. You want Imperial steel. Strong and sturdy. That's exactly what I offer.
And you can buy a style material. Now, given that you may only know your own race's style, it's probably best if you just buy that. So in this case, I will buy a moonstone. And then we'll head on over to the blacksmithing station, where we have a mark above creation. You'll get the blacksmithing creation thing, and you'll look for the thing you want. So we're going to create a iron dagger using iron. You'll notice this little triangle above each. It doesn't matter what style material you need. As you can see, Rendari has had the advantage of being given a couple of other races styles already, but we're going to craft in the Khajiit style. So just hit R. That's our iron dagger. If you remember, I did say there was a lot of running around involved. So we're now going to run all the way back to the Fighters Guild and drop off the iron dagger. Now we're going to do this process for each single craft. So basically, you learn that you go to the crafter, you ask to be taught the craft. They send you out to gather materials, unless this is like, in Rendari's case, she's my 4th or 5th character. If you have the materials already, you don't need to gather them, but if you don't have them, they'll tell you where to go.
Craft an iron dagger. You'll need some iron ingots and a style material. You can buy those from any blacksmith if you can't find them yourself.
See, I have it right here.
The trick is the style material, but I'm sure you know that.
I figured it out. What more would you have me do?
Next is deconstruction. You learn a lot when you break something into parts, even more so when it's someone else's work. Go deconstruct your dagger, or anything else really, as long as you do it at a blacksmithing station.
And how is deconstruction useful to me?
You'll regain some components, of course, but the real trick is to deconstruct another crafter's work. You can learn far more by disassembling someone else's material than your own.
And what is deconstruction?
It's a fancy way to say take something apart. The term originally came from Aldmeri poetry critiques. High elves consider their physical crafts to be forms of poetry, so it stuck. You can't know what a sword is, only what it's not, and so forth.
Right. So, now we're going to head back to the, since I remember where the door is. I know, gets lost inside the apartment. I do this so often. Basically, now we're going to head back to the crafting area, where we're going to go craft ourselves well, we're actually going to take apart the dagger we just crafted, which reminds me, so I don't accidentally take apart the dagger I just got as part of my level up rewards. What I might do, is I might head on over into my inventory, where we'll grab our newest stuff, we'll right click it, and we will equip it. Let's make sure I've got the Aldmeri Exile Dagger, the Prophet's Dagger. What did I give up in return for that? Weapons. Just another Aldmeri Exile's Dagger, rightio. You'll notice I've got a mark under the champion points. I don't think I've actually assigned any. Oh no, I have assigned champion points for my Nightblade, rightio. But I haven't assigned any in my crafting. Let us go to Blacksmith. So once you have a character that's earning champion points, your other characters have champion points to spend. Let us go to deconstruction. We will deconstruct the Aldmeri Exile's Dagger and the Iron Dagger, just to keep space in our backpack, because we don't have a lot. So we hit R, hit accept. And you guessed it, now we're going to run all the way back to Milaneth. Now I can't think of a city where this process is any less painful. I know in if you happen to do this in High Isle, it's more painful because the Milaneth is further away from the crafting area than Milaneth here in Rimmon. So let's go talk to Milaneth. She will no doubt have words of wisdom to impart.
You certainly know your way around a forge. You're a blacksmith, and let none tell you otherwise.
I'm ready to be certified as a blacksmith.
Of course. I'll get you certified right away so you can fulfill blacksmith crafting writs immediately.
Alrighty, let's complete that quest.
Let me know if you have some time. I can train and certify you in something else.
I would like to be certified in woodworking.
A good woodworker sees the final product before cutting the first block of wood. But I can't teach two crafts at once. If you commit yourself to the training, I'll certify you.
Alright, I'll be certified. I want to be certified as a woodworker.
I want to know if you can craft a maple bow. First,
maybe?
go harvest some rough maple. You'll refine it into sanded maple at a woodworking station. Last, you'll take the sanded maple and turn it into a maple bow.
You'll certify me if I craft a maple bow?
Absolutely. Bows are challenging to craft. Show me you're up to the challenge and I'll happily certify you. But first, go get me a bundle of rough maple.
Where can I find rough maple?
There's a place nearby which should have what you need. Collect an armload and return here. If there's not enough, you'll need to search for more.
Alright, I'll return with the maple. Huh. Clearly, my higher level characters have not been harvesting any maple. How do I get out of here again? Oh man, I did this last time too. And the time before that. Right. You can tell I have not spent a lot of time in the Fighters Guild here in Rimmon. Alrighty, let's go. Heading for the Way Shrine. Actually, yeah, we're heading for the Way Shrine because finding the Way Shrine is the quickest way to find the exit. So basically, once you find the Way Shrine in Rimmon, run straight down the middle towards this wall. We'll ignore that lovely lady because she is she's actually the giver of a prologue quest, and you don't really want to get into that just yet. Alrighty, away we go. So to find our rough maple, we're again following the little quest markers because they make it a lot easier to find it. I don't know if I have spent the craft points. That's easy to check though. Going to woodworking. Now you'll notice, blacksmithing we have keen eye for ore. Woodworking, keen eye for wood has not had any points put into it. So we're going to have to look for our rough maple the hard way with no assistance. Although we do get these fancy little markers. Maple can be hard to pick if you're roaming around and you haven't got that ability with a point in it, so you're just going to have to keep an eye out for logs that look like this. They don't vary. Logs you can't cut are not that colour, so I may have to fight something if I go for that bit of rough maple. Let's see if there's a bit of rough maple that's somewhere without monsters. We could be dreaming. Alright, none that's within easy running distance anyway, so I can either be super lazy and run all the way up that cliff to find it, or I can go over there to that piece of maple and fight a couple of lions to get to it, and I've completely not used the Nightblade abilities for a bit, so this will be exciting. Hi kitty. Oh no, see, what was I worried about? Oh, that's what I was worried about. I guess we're going to get a little bit of hide as well. I wonder if Milaneth has a use for that. What does 4 do? I don't know. What does 5 do? Oh, well, that was impressive. Well, we got some grease and some rawhide out of it. I guess that's not too bad. Alright. You know what? We're going to stop. We're going to dig up these runestones. So I'm going to basically, with Rendari, just take you through the certification process. This episode we're going to do everything from Milaneth, and next episode we're going to do everything from... What's his face? You know what? That crystal is enticing me. We have to go and get it. Always keep an eye out for these dark crystals. It means you haven't picked up the Sky Shard. See, look, I've got company. Clearly he had not picked up the Sky Shard either. Hi, Bruna. Alrighty. Runa Battlehammer. Let's go back. We're going to head on back to the lovely Milaneth and get her to tell us what to do next. Now I probably do have maple planks, so I won't have to refine those. But I will show you how it's done when we go to construct whatever it is, the bow that she wants us to construct. So we'll zip on over this way. Return to the Fighters Guild. Find Milaneth. Try and remember the way out again this time. Milaneth.
Look for rough maple in forested areas. Sometimes you'll see logs washed up on beaches.
You will indeed. I have the maple right here.
You should avoid cutting a rough maple log with a wasp nest inside. It's rather unpleasant. So are the lotions you'll need for stings.
I have the sanded maple. What do we do next?
Craft a maple bow at a woodworking station. You'll need sanded maple, also a style material. Scavenge them yourself or buy a style material from a carpenter.
Alrighty, we know what a style material is, so I won't drag you through that again. This time we'll even... I did it again. I was about to say this time we'll even find the front door without getting lost, but that would have been an absolute lie. Here we are, front door. Okay.
Rejoice! Alkosh has come to save us.
Oh, Alkosh has he? Now you'll notice that there are a few little more blue markers. We're going to ignore those. Those are job offers that you can get in Rimmen. One involves hunting dragons, one involves delving delves, and one involves taking on big monsters in other delves, or world bosses. As we toddle past the job boards, you'll notice that now that we're certified, see the job boards where we're not certified in things? We have nothing on offer. Here we can now do blacksmith writs. I might grab one of those while we're at it. Alrighty, however, just go to J, go to woodworker certifications, so we have the right little thing hanging up on the board. Woodworking station. If we were to be going from scratch, we would be grabbing our rough maple, we would be refining it, and crafting our sanded maple. However, because I already had sanded maple, I can go straight to creation, where I make sure I've got my bow highlighted, my sanded maple highlighted, and again I had a choice of different things. So a Khajiit moonstone, huh? Well, let's go craft that. Alright, and you guessed it, we're going back to Milaneth. We can do all our writs in one go later, but we'll collect them as they appear. It's kind of satisfying that way. And up we go. Past the bank. I do like how central everything is in Rimmen. I've said that before with one of my other carriages. It's just one of the best places if you want to get your daily crafting writs done in a hurry. It's one of the best places to do them.
Craft a maple bow. Bring some sanded maple to a woodworking station, as well as a style material. Carpenters sell them if you can't find any yourself.
Yep, I have the bow right here.
A good bow will get you far in life. Making good bows will get you farther.
I'm ready for the next step.
Excellent! Now we can talk about deconstruction. You grow as a woodworker when you disassemble your own creations, even more so with someone else's work. Head to a woodworking station and deconstruct your bow, or any other crafted wood.
Alright, we could ask her all those questions again, but I won't ask them again. I mean, if you were a little bit sketchy about the details, it's just natural to go the other way. I don't know why. But if you were sketchy about the details and the whys and wherefores, you could ask her repeatedly, and she would answer you with exactly the same thing.
In the worship of Alkosh.
No, thank you, not right now. Alkosh, the dragon. I know, what was that about keeping my boots dry? Ah, never mind. We're heading on up back to the woodworking station. Where we will deconstruct our maple bow and the forgotten adventurer's bow. Why do I have that there, I wonder? Oh well, we'll deconstruct it anyway. It'll be fine. What else have we got to deconstruct? Well, certainly not that. And now that we've done that, let's run on back to Milleneth. I'm going in the wrong direction. Of course I am. Oh wait. Oh, wow. What are you doing here, Milleneth?
I've seen everything I need to see. You're a fine woodworker with a steady hand.
I'm ready to be certified as a woodworker.
Certainly. You're more than qualified to fulfill woodworking crafting writs. I'll certify you immediately.
Thank you.
There's only one more certification I can provide. If you need training, I have time.
I'd like to know more about Clothier certification.
If you convince me you know how to use a needle and thread, I'll certify you. However, you must commit. I can't certify two things at once.
I want to be certified as a Clothier.
Show me you can craft a pair of homespun gloves.
Wow.
First, you'll collect some raw jute, then return here and refine it. Finally, you'll use refined jute to make the gloves.
You'll certify me if I craft homespun gloves.
Of course. It was the first trade I studied. I'm happy to certify anyone familiar with a clothing station. Now run forth and bring me a pile of raw jute.
Where can I find raw jute?
I spotted some raw jute growing on the outskirts of town. You might as well harvest it yourself. Should that not be enough, you'll have to search elsewhere.
I'll return with the jute, Milleneth. Alrighty, and once again we sally forth. Man, as soon as I can get my bearings, we sally forth to the to find the jute. Yep, search for raw jute. I think we'll find it's hiding outside. Again, just check on your map. You'll see that you've got your city here and you've got your raw jute lurking outside. So let's go get that. Around we go. My goodness, looks like we might not have to tango with tigers. Again, you'll see this isn't highlighted because I haven't spent the point to be able to spot it in the wild. You can spot it just without any highlights, as you can see, because it is very distinctive. It's one of my favourite plants for being able to see it. And just make sure there's nothing bitey down there. What's in that, I wonder? Of course, while we're out exploring, we might as well... Ooh, a backpack. Search that, we'll have some of that. That's manganese. Spoiled food, we'll search the sack. We will search the cauldron, because the cauldron has, well, melon jelly. Let's have some of that, shall we? It gives us a goodly bit of magicka. We could eat that and have extra magicka for a little bit. Do our skills mostly use magicka? That's a good question. Why don't we have a look? That ability where you can just spot the herbs is not constrained to... I know I saw an example back there, but I didn't grab it. I should have. It's not constrained to just timber and rocks. It's also part of, like, you can see it. Anyway, we'll find some herbs later. Let's go inside. We're gonna need herbs. Alrighty, now I can talk to Milleneth there, but it looks also like I can... No, I can't talk to her back in here. I'm just curious now because I did not expect to find Milleneth in the crafting area. I want to see if she's still there. She is. Oh my gosh, you don't have to run all the way back to the guild. She's clearly in here as well. Well, that just makes it so much easier.
Search grassy areas in the wilderness for raw jute. You should find enough if you look around.
I have the jute here.
Raw jute is plentiful if you know where to look. Just don't chew on it. It can really do a number on your... Well, just don't chew on it.
I've refined jute. What do I do with it?
Head to the clothing station and craft a pair of homespun gloves. You shouldn't need much refined jute. Don't forget the style material. You can purchase them from any clothier or scavenge them yourself.
And how would I make leather gloves?
You mean half-hide braces? It's a similar process. Skin animals for leather scraps, refine scraps into rawhide, and craft the braces with a style material. But I'm not supposed to say you should kill and skin a pack of wolves. Let's stick to jute.
Alright, jute. Let us go over here. Clothing station. And that man over there was obviously the clothier. So if you didn't already have raw jute for crafting, you could just refine the jute. We can refine the rawhide too, we might as well. You'll notice your clothing skill is going up here. Go into creation. We will find the little thing with a marker above it so we know what we're supposed to be doing. Hit that R button and it's done. I am so glad I do not have to run all the way to the Fighters Guild for Milaneth. But she's not very clearly marked here, so just be aware that she might be one of these markers.
Craft a pair of homespun gloves. You'll need refined jute and a style material. Clothiers sell those if you can't find any yourself.
I have the gloves right here.
You know, I'm a master clothier, yet I still own a pair of homespun gloves. They keep my hands warm at night. Sometimes simple is better.
Right, I'm ready for your next step.
Wonderful. Now for deconstruction. There's much to learn from breaking down your own work, even more so with someone else's creation. Head to a clothing station and deconstruct your gloves. Or anything else, really. Just be sure you do it there.
Alrighty. Back to the clothing station. You can use a station someone else is using. Hasn't he got pretty armor? Hey, man, I was admiring that. Alrighty, I know. I love looking and seeing what other adventurers have created and made in their clothing. When deconstructing, it doesn't tell you how to do it, but you just grab that, you grab your homespun gloves, you hit that R button. And then I guess we're going to toddle on back to Milaneth, who I now know is here in the middle of town. I wonder if I can find it there.
You're more than
at the
capable
beginning.
with needle and thread. I'll be proud to call you my colleague.
I'm ready to be certified as a clothier.
Already done. You'll now be able to fulfill clothier crafting writs, and I look forward to seeing more of your work.
Ah, thank you.
I have nothing left to teach. Have you spoken with Daniel Toleno? He can certify you at enchanting, alchemy, and provisioning. Last I heard, he was in the local mages guild.
I have a few questions.
Of course. What do you want to know?
Is there anything else I should know about crafting?
I can explain how to craft stronger items with more materials, tell you about the improvement of existing items, or discuss research and traits.
Tell me about crafting with more materials.
You can easily create more powerful weapons, armor, and shields. Simply increase the amount of refined material during an item's creation. Of course, each material has its own limits. At some point, it's just waste.
I want to know more about improvement.
You can greatly improve weapons, armor, and shields with certain rare materials. These materials are unique to each craft.
Alrighty. So we can then go through each of these. For instance, how does a blacksmith improve?
Bring any tempers you find to a blacksmithing station. You can improve the quality of forged weapons or heavy armor. A word of warning, unless you have enough tempers, you can lose your item while improving it. Be sure you know the risks.
And research and traits?
Some weapons, armor, and shields possess rare traits that distinguish them from others. Every kind of item has its own unique set of traits. Once you research a trait, you will always be able to craft an item of that kind with that particular trait.
How do I research it, as you've seen me us do before?
Bring any item with a trait to the appropriate crafting station and research it. You'll lose the item in the process, but you'll learn the trait. The more traits you already know for an item, the longer new traits take to research. Plan accordingly.
There you go. So there are a bunch of things you can learn and have explained to you in full. We're just going to go and we're going to grab our newly acquired ability to craft equipment. We'll grab our Clothier writs. I think we grabbed our... Did we grab our woodworking writs already? Maybe. Let's just go J. Blacksmith, Clothier, and Woodworker. Now I'm pretty sure we've done everything we can with Millenith. So the one thing I love about Rimmen, or one of the things I love here, is that you can just go straight into the station and you can just find what you're after. This one wants 2, we'll hit that 2, go R, go E, boom, that's done. Little thingy goes away. Same with the shield. You'll notice there's no arrow above any of these crafting materials. You can use whichever one you want. The thing about it is with each crafting material, the style of your shield will change. So if you're after a particular look for your character, just be aware of your crafting materials. Oh, sorry, your style materials as you craft. Let me grab our blacksmithing station. I'll just refine that iron ore, it's driving me nuts. I probably should have got Rosalo to do it because she's got a higher level, but that's okay. So we'll grab our sword. Grab our apparel. And make sure you just pick the one with the little arrow on it. And then we'll just go over to our clothing station. We'll do the same for that. Boom. Robe. Jute. Yep. Clothing is just easy. You just zish your way along the list until you find the items you're supposed to have. All of that's done. Those are our 3 crafting writs. The next thing you want to do is you want to deliver them.
Oh, I hope no one's hurt. This one shudders to think of the damage the beast could do.
You'll notice there's a little arrow up there. Deliver goods to nearest writ quartermaster. Usually when you're delivering goods to a quartermaster, all of the crafting writs are delivered to the same spot. So you can actually do all of your crafting writs in one go, and then you can deliver them all to the one spot. So there's our woodworker's crate, our blacksmithing crate. Just be careful what you're pointing at when you click. If you point at the wrong thing, you can actually steal things that you might not want to steal because you'll get caught and then you'll have a price on your head. The guards will be upset with you. Once you've delivered your goods, you can go into your I for inventory. You can either search for it in here, or you can actually go to consumables, go to containers, and you'll have all the containers in one spot where you can just go use, take all, use. And the reason you would do it this way instead of having it from the main thing is the minute you use the first one, everything else gets sorted into alphabetical order and you have to go searching for it through your items. And this way you can just have it all in one spot and not have to worry about searching, which is the lazy way to do it, but definitely how I've done it. Guys, on that note, I am going to bid you adieu. Next episode, we're going to look at doing our provisioning, alchemy, and enchanting crafting writ certifications. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit like. If you want to see more, please hit subscribe. I'll check you later. Take care out there.